Alright, in this video we are going to see how to add a tooltip. So if I hover on a add to cart button, the text I have changed is to buy now. We'll see how to change the text of the add to cart button. Also, when I hover on the button, you will see the breakdown. So the breakdown is like what is the price, what is the tax, and how much discount that is applied, and what is the final payable amount. So this is available on variable product. Now I have chosen white, so the price of white is 509. So the actual base price is 509 and final payable amount is 570. So likewise, if I choose the black t-shirt, the base price is 336, the tax amount is 40%, the discount is 224, and the final payable is 376. So this is the tooltip that we are going to see how to create this, and we'll not be using hook. We'll be overriding a template called variable.php. Since it's a variable product, we have variable.php. If it's a single product, you can get into the simple.php file. So without wasting time, let's get into the code. I'll just show you how we can operate it. So now I click into advanced. Now you see a text field which says change the button text. So as of now I have made it buy. Let me just make this buy and click on update. You'll find the text change it to from buy now to it's just a buy now. It's just a buy. And along with that, so this is the basic setup. To make this work, you have to make sure your tax is set up. So for that you have to get into WooCommerce settings and make sure you have enabled tax and calculations. So that's the first step, and the second step is get into tax tab, where you will find you just enter I will enter price exclusive of tax. So this has to be selected. So that's the reason why we would be entering the price without tax. We'll let WordPress calculate the tax. So that's the reason why we are checking this. And then if you scroll down, and it's just an option, you don't have to worry about this, and make sure it's itemized. If it's not itemized, then the GST and IGST will be shown different. If you make it as a single, it will just show you a tax. So that's the second step that you have to configure. The third step is standard rates. Get into standard rates. Since it's a t-shirt, I'm going to make it 12% GST. So if the price is like 309, then based on that, a 12% GST is applied. That makes the price 376. So the tax is 40 rupees. So that is getting calculated by this, which you have configured. So that's the basic configuration that need to make this tooltip work. So let me start the plugin from scratch. So to give the overview of a plugin, we'll be creating the HTML, and that HTML is nothing but the input text. We won't be creating an HTML. We'll be calling a WordPress function that will render this HTML. That's the first step. Where it would be rendered, it's on the advanced tab. So that's the first step. The second step is when I click on update, I want this rendered HTML data to store with the data that we enter on this fields. So in short, we want our text field also gets saved when all the other input field in this particular page gets saved. So we'll configure that as well. That's the second step. And the third step is we want to configure the variable.php file, and we'll create the variable.php into our plugin folder and look for how this particular section is getting rendered. That will look when we work on variable.php, and we'll use a little JavaScript and jQuery. With the help of jQuery, we'll get the information of price, tax, and discount, and then we'll have this on the tooltip. So that's the overview. So let me just deactivate the plugin and start from scratch. First thing, we need to create a file. That file should be a PHP file, and let's name our plugin as Tooltip. Yeah. And inside that, I want to create a PHP file. We'll just name it as tooltip.php. It's better to have the same name as your folder name. That's the minimum requirement. And after that, we have to add the name of the plugin, the description, the version, the author name. So for that, we need to pass the comment. of PHP. We just make this Tooltip 2, and if you make a refresh, you will find your plugin available in the name of Tooltip 2. It's there. Now let's render the HTML. We have already seen how to render HTML in the previous episode. I'm just going little quick. So we'll attach a function to this hook for this tab. So when the hook is called, which is related to this advanced tab, I want a function to get executed, and this function will simply output the input field. To configure the input field, we will give the ID. ID is similar to your name attribute. ID is similar to name attribute, and we have a label, and then we have description, and then we have tooltip. Tooltip is nothing but when I hover it, you will find this description, and that's the description was over here. So this is just the rendering part. So for the saving part, we have another hook. So when we save, we want our name attribute to be called and saved it in the form of key and value pair. So the key, the data would be stored in WP post meta, and the key value pair, so when you're about to click, when the data is about to get saved, this hook is called. When this hook is called, I am attaching my function, and I am using the name attribute. If you know PHP, when we save something, the input data gets identified with the help of name attribute. So this is the name attribute of the input field. Name attribute and ID attribute are same in this particular. We have already seen it earlier. If you want, you can check it by getting into inspect. And this is the post. When I click on save, all the input field value is identified with the help of name attribute, and I'm checking whether the value is filled or not. If the value is filled, then store it into a WordPress post meta. So this post meta will hold the key and the value. The value is nothing but what you enter on the input field. That's what we have here with the help of post meta. And then this is a key that I'm specifically saying in post meta, WP post meta, save this with this name, and this is value on this particular ID, which is 62. So that would get saved. That's the second step. Now if we have activated the plug, I think we have not activated. Let me just activate the plugin. If we activate the plugin, you should see the same input field on the edit page. To make this something different, you can give add to cart text. Just make this add to cart text. Previously there was a text called, in the label there was a text called add to cart. Now it's just add to cart text. Advanced, now add to cart text. I'm just making it by now, or just say pay now to make this unique. Now in this particular page, it won't show up anywhere. Now we'll see how this particular section, the color, the drop down, and this particular section is getting displayed. So its display is getting displayed from the variable.php. I'll show you where a variable.php is. Well, first let's just dissect what it does. Now simply we have a table. So this table has two columns. So the first column is label. So the label is nothing but what you see here, and the drop down is coming from this section. So based on your selection, the price is getting displayed. So that is because of this particular div. It only has a div. So WordPress will add its price dynamically. So you can see it just has the do action, and it doesn't have any code that displays the price. So WordPress does it internally, and that's how the variable.php is structured. We have a form. Inside form we have a table. In table we have two columns. The first one is the name that you give while creating your product. So you can see in the variation you would have given a name. So here in the attribute I have given the name colors. So that's why the colors is getting displayed. So that's the first step. And the second thing is the drop down is getting displayed by this function. So this is what we have to know. Other than that, if the product is out of sale, you will find a simple paragraph saying out of stock. So that's the notification when your product goes out of stock. So these are the three major: the form, the out of stock, and the table with the drop down. These are the three main characters of this variable.php. And let's just modify this. So to modify this, we need to create a folder in our particular WordPress folder, so for WordPress plugin. So it's recommended to get the core files and save it into our plugin so it doesn't harm your WordPress environment or your, yeah, that's the main reason why we are using our WordPress core file, which is variable.php, into our plugin. So when we deactivate this plugin, this variable.php file will get deactivated. So now we need to create a folder called templates. Inside templates, we need to create WooCommerce. Inside WooCommerce, we need to create single.php, single hyphen product, and inside single hyphen product, we need to create one more folder, and that folder is going to be add hyphen to hyphen cart, and inside that we would have variable.php. So let's pick that. Inside WooCommerce, you will find templates, the single product, add to cart, variable. Just copy this and get into our folder, which is Woo Tooltip, and templates, WooCommerce, single product, add to cart. Just paste it. So once you paste it, you can open this now. So the phrase that we have to modify is this one. Let's take this code completely. So just to check whether our code is working or not, we can just have our text hello, and it won't work unless and until you are specifying that when WordPress looks for variable.php, instead of showing WooCommerce variable.php, show my plugins variable.php. Yeah, we need to mention it with the help of hook. So I'm saying what to the WooCommerce, when you look for variable.php, instead of going into WordPress folder, WordPress plugin folder, go into my plugin folder and look for the path and display it. And to check, we have added hello over here. So if everything works fine, we should find a text called hello. Yeah, you can see hello works. That means our template is getting called instead of WooCommerce template. Now let's remove the hello, and just to show you the variable, instead of the attribute name, you can have your custom name like Vishal's t-shirt color. Now you'll find Vishal t-shirts color. Let's make this as it is. Now it's up to you, you can modify it. Now we have removed a block of code that shows the add to cart and the price. So this is the block of code that gave the add to cart and price. Now we have to modify this with our code. So now if you see, I'll just remove this and replace it with my block of code. This block of code will simply have the add to cart button. Now it's asking that because the button label is not fixed. We have used the add to cart button. Now we need to call that on the header. So with the help of the button label, we are picking it. We have used the meta, so we have used the key. So we are using the key. So now if you find, you see this name attribute that you are setting, update metadata. So this is the key, and we are using the key to get the text of the button. So we have stored it into the button label, and we don't confuse with this table. We can completely skip this part. So here I'm just showing, instead of showing add to cart, display my label, and that's what it is displaying. Pay now is getting displayed. Now with the help of JavaScript, so this is the jQuery. I'm getting the price, display price, display regular price, and display price. I'm calculating the discount, and with the help of price format, this price format makes sure that this currency style is INR, and it formats it accordingly. If the value is just 10, it will print the rupees 10, so it will display in such a way like RS 10.00. So that's the reason why we use price format. It's WordPress helper function. We don't have to worry about it. Now if you make a refresh and get into black, and you'll see the tooltip in action. So the tooltip is actually coming from this jQuery, and the CSS, related CSS that we have added over here. So when I hover it, a div with ID tooltip shows up with these values that getting populated, and this is another WordPress function to get the tax class. So this tax class we have used here to get the tax rate, so that we can have tax amount getting displayed on this particular tax. If you don't add this, the tax amount will show not a number. So this is a quick walkthrough of how we have implemented tooltip that shows the price breakdown of total payable price, and that along with the total payable price we'll see the tax and what is the base price, and if there is a discount it will display that as well. And over here you'll find the display. The discount is actually you have given the amount. So when I get on variation, you'll find you have given a regular price and sale price. So this is the difference that you see on the discount. Thank you so much for listening. Meet you tomorrow with another WordPress related, WooCommerce related plugin.